Welcome back to Hexagon Tutorials Dart series. Let's see how to write conditions in a program. Conditional statements allow a program to make decisions and execute different blocks of code based on certain conditions. This is essential for controlling the flow of a program. Dart provides several types of conditional statements. If statement. The if statement runs a block of code only if a specific condition is true. If the condition is false, that block is skipped. If-else statement. This is an extended version of if. If the condition is true, one block of code runs. Otherwise, a different block executes. This ensures that something happens regardless of whether the condition is met or not. Else if statement. Sometimes, a program needs to check multiple conditions. Instead of writing multiple if statements, we use else if. This allows us to test different cases one after another and execute the appropriate block when a condition is met. Nested if-else. This is when one if-else statement is placed inside another. It helps when decisions need to be made within another condition, allowing for more complex decision-making. Conditional statements are a fundamental part of programming. They help make programs more dynamic and responsive by allowing different actions based on different conditions. Let's code the same. A switch case statement is used when we need to compare a variable against multiple constant values. Instead of writing multiple if-else conditions, we use switch case to make the code cleaner and more readable. The break statement stops further execution. Once a case matches, the program exits the switch block to prevent unnecessary checks. The default case executes when none of the specified cases match. It acts as a fallback to ensure that some action is taken. The continue statement allows the program to skip the current case and jump to another case. This is useful when multiple cases share the same logic. Switch case is especially helpful when working with fixed values, such as menu options, user input choices, or status codes. It improves code organization and makes it easier to read compared to multiple if-else statements. Let's code what we just learned. The break statement is used to immediately stop execution inside a loop or a switch statement. When break is encountered, the program exits the current loop or case and moves forward with the rest of the code. In a switch statement, break prevents execution from moving to the next case. In a loop, it helps stop iterations when a certain condition is met. In the latest version of Dart, even if you don't use break in a switch statement, the execution does not fall through to the next case. The first matching case runs, and the switch statement exits automatically. Simply put, break is useful when you want to exit early and avoid unnecessary execution. Here we have not used break keyword then, also the execution does not fall through to the next case. The first matching case runs, and the switch statement exits automatically. This is how we use continue statement if we want to skip a case and want to execute multiple cases. Writing an empty case is must for using continue statement, or if we want to skip cases. Default statement is executed when none of the case matches. This was all about switch case and all its keywords break, continue, and default. Let's move to next topic, loops. Loops are a fundamental part of programming, helping us automate repetitive tasks efficiently. Dart provides several types of loops, each serving a specific purpose. First is for loop, runs a block of code a fixed number of times. Second is while loop, runs as long as a condition remains true. Third is do while loop, executes at least once before checking the condition. Fourth is for each loop, iterates over collections like lists and maps. Fifth is break and continue, control the flow inside loops by stopping or skipping iterations. Each of these loops is useful in different scenarios, and we'll explore them in more detail. For loop is used when we know number of iterations. This is the normal way of printing 5 numbers one by one. We can do the same task using for loop and in less number of lines. This is how it works. int I is equal to 0, initializes I with 0. I less than is equal to 5. Loop runs as long as I is less than or equal to 5. I plus plus increases I by 1 after each iteration. Now comes the while loop. It is used when we don't know the exact number of iterations, but know the condition that determines how long it should run. Do while loop is same as while loop, but the main difference between them is though while loop execute at least once. In this code the condition is false, but the code inside the block is executing at least once. The for each loop is a convenient way to iterate over collections like lists, sets, or maps in Dart. It helps execute a function on each element of the collection without needing a manual index. For example, in a list, for each goes through each item one by one and applies the specified function. In a set, it works the same way, processing each unique element in the collection. When used with a map, for each provides both the key and value, allowing you to work with pairs effortlessly. This makes for each a simple and readable way to handle iteration in Dart. Let's iterate over a list using for each loop. Now let's iterate over a list of string data type. Now let's iterate over a map. I hope you got a short intro of list and map. But don't worry, we will study these in more detail in upcoming part. Let's explore the break and continue statements in loops. The break statement is used to stop the execution of a loop immediately, bringing the control out of the loop. On the other hand, the continue statement is used to skip the current iteration and move to the next one without terminating the loop. Here, I run a loop from 0 to 5 and use an if statement with a condition. If I is equal to 3, the break statement stops the execution of the loop. As a result, when I run the code, it prints only 0, 1, and 2, and then the loop terminates. Now, instead of break, we use the continue keyword. If I is equal to 4, the continue statement skips that iteration and moves to the next one. As a result, when I run the code, it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, and 5, skipping 4, and then the loop completes its execution. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. A full playlist on Dart and Flutter will be uploaded. So stay tuned.